Craig, Nasty Yoda, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, General Grievous, Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, Queen Amidala.
This is it. We are going to go react and watch Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, Friday morning at 8:30. Well, it's not 8:30. The movie's at 8:30. Seeing it this morning with a buddy of mine, Matthew. You'll probably remember him from the Frozen 2 with the boys video, if you saw that.
Yes, that.
So we've been watching the movies these past few days, getting ready for it. It's a lot of emotion. And yeah, so it's very exciting. If you haven't seen my John Williams theory video, I love...
Sorry for the stomping.
I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars very much. It's been a part of my childhood since I was a child. But you know, I could say Chewbacca before I could say Mom, basically, and things like that. And it's always meant, I think, more than just having a love for it. It hits me on a more emotional and spiritual level at times, more than just, you know, the lightsabers, the spaceships, all the cool stuff about Star Wars. It feels like a chapter is closing, truly, not just in these movies, but in life, you know. And I think each trilogy not only covers, it kind of closes its own story, but now this is the last movie to close the story that we've known for the past 40 years, which is crazy. The fact that we're even speaking that way, the fact that that story is over, and everything that we see in Star Wars from now on is going to be a new story or something that's not the Skywalkers. So, you know, there's been mixed reviews that I've heard. I've been trying my best to stay away from a lot of different things because I just don't want to go into it with any expectations. Because of that, I think I'm just ready to take it in as what it is and see what it comes down to. I love JJ as a director. He's awesome creatively. He knows what he's doing. I just love his directing. I went back. We realized how much fans' expectations and opinions affected our opinions with The Last Jedi. We watched that movie originally. We didn't know how we felt, and then we turned around, saw opinions, saw people talking about it, and then we somehow made arguments that it wasn't good or it was terrible, quote unquote. Yo! Yeah. But you know, then we realized our arguments for Last Jedi were not as strong as they were before. But what does Star Wars mean to you, Matthew?
Life. Yeah, everything.
So, life is ending, I guess?
Oh, wow. I'm stoked. I remember watching 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then when I was like 5, I first watched 3, which was crazy.
Yeah. We like grew up with the prequels because those are the ones we knew.
I obviously watched the originals pretty early on, but...
Yeah. It's just crazy how it's coming to an end, man. You know?
What about you, Jim?
Me? I'm extremely excited. I was going crazy just watching the trailer, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I've heard that there's been some mixed reviews, but I'm like, I feel like people are setting too many expectations, and you really just have to see what the storyline is and not expect so much from them, because we don't want, you know, to have high ratings and then it doesn't meet your expectations, and then you feel like, oh, it's a terrible movie. So sometimes it's good to not set any expectations, which is what I'm going to do. So I want to go in fully on with surprises and not worry about anything. So
I mean, I could see how it's hard to not have, not have expectations. Just because it is the last Star Wars movie, and this has been going on for 40 years, right, bro?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, it's definitely... I could see how it might be hard for fans to sometimes not have, like, expectations for this movie. I haven't seen it, of course, so I'm really excited for that. You know, I love how much my brother and my dad and my whole family loves Star Wars. It's really cool, you know.
We can share, right?
Wars in space. I don't know how George Lucas came up with that in his mind, you know. I'm so excited to see this movie, and like Matthew Abazadi said, I'm tired, not as tired as he is, but I'm still very tired.
Do you have any predictions?
Predictions?
Or yeah.
I mean, all
theories?
I know, all I feel, I definitely think Snoke is like Palpatine.
Snoke is fake? Okay.
I think.
I was
Even
thinking,
we were watching Pieces of the Last Jedi, and he just sounds so much like the Emperor.
do you think Rey is anyone? Like,
I think, okay, so the way they're making it seem, like looking back, I don't know, I feel like she could easily be a reincarnation of Anakin or something like
I'm
that.
making a bold claim right here. Rey is a Palpatine.
Palpatine, yeah?
That's my theory. Yeah.
Could be. I mean, she could be. I mean, I remember that whole video you sent me.
Yeah, no, that was a really good video, and I kind of was on that bandwagon, but like my thought process with that comes with, I think would justify her being a Mary Sue. Very overpowered, Mary Sue, an overpowered character if she was a Palpatine.
Yeah.
Because I think that was one of my biggest frustrations with Episode 8 was having all this power that no one knew where it came from. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I think Kylo is just lying when he says
You come from nothing. You're nothing.
she's nobody, because I think he's trying to get to her head. There's no way she's just a random girl.
Yeah. And I say that too just because, like, off the trailers, probably think she's a lot more relevant.
Yeah, and he also seems like they're gonna close it out with him being the one that's been controlling all
Which
of
is, well, amazing.
which is whack.
I like that.
Whack. Yeah.
I
That's
like
so.
that.
Yeah, man. This is it.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Star Wars fans. Good morning, MaJeliv Family. Good morning, MaJeliv fans. Good morning, all of you. Thank you for joining us on this momentous and grandiose event. I cannot put it into full words. This is a pretty special day.
Growing up, I was not a Star Warsian. My cousin Jonathan was older than me, and he had them all. He had Back to the Future. He had all these really great movies. I was never really into them until I met my hubby in high school, and I kind of got into the hype of wanting to see what it was all about. So I saw 4, 5, and 6 like in high school. And then when I had Matthew, we were kind of in the hype of the 1, 2, and 3 episodes. And I think to live it through Matthew's eyes with so much excitement, with so much anticipation, the elements of the stories, the way that they were so genius in making the beginning, the origin stories after the Luke and Leia and everything like that. I am going into this being very gentle with expectations, because no matter what, it's the end to a beautiful run of movies. And I think for any director, for any production team, it is nearly impossible to please everybody and to make everyone happy. To think back to when we first started watching these, when episode 1 came out, I remember young Annie with the pods, like he was just, doing the racing, to see, like, Matthew pretending to race, and then Jemmy and Josh when they were born, and it just it touches those heartstrings of our family. It just means so much more because we've experienced it together. Going to Disney Hollywood Studios had a Star Wars weekend. We didn't even know it was gonna be Star Wars, and we just, completely lost it when we saw stormtroopers standing at the entrance, the music, the parade. It was just amazing. So Disney made that also more real for us to experience. So the films, the story, the memories we're making today, I think the memories that will live with us forever. It encompasses everything we've lived as a family up to this moment and beyond.
A lot of mixed feelings. We recently allowed ourselves to go through the journey of watching all the films again, and we'll have more thoughts on that later. But I have been recalling the days of when I started my journey with Star Wars, which was in the 90s, when the re-release of the originals came out after Lucas had added a lot of digital effects to the film. Not something that was very popular with the original fans, but me as a kid, I didn't know any better. I didn't know much about Star Wars. I just knew that they were in the theaters and I needed to go see them. So I did, and I was about Joshua's age, 12, 13 years old. I go to these movies and my life has completely changed. That actually, it was going on around the same time that I was really contemplating on my relationship with God. So the spiritual aspect of these films has stayed with me since. And now, fast forward all these years, and I get to share this with my family, with my kids. Jenny talked about how much Star Wars means to Matthew and how much it did since the very, very beginning of his time. And so now this is far more than a movie for me. Far more than a movie for all of us, I would say. It is a big part of our family. We have very little expectations, except possibly to make sure that we share in it together, that we just live in it together. We're gonna ride that wave that J.J. Abrams and his team have created, and we cannot wait to share with you how it goes.
Spiritual Revolver. No, I'm kidding.
What's up, guys? We're about to go watch Star Wars:
Yeah.
The Last Skywalker. We are so excited for everyone's favorite saga to come to an end.
Yeah, no, we're here, and it's exciting. We finally got to MaJeliv Tavern. It is freezing, so we'll go inside. But here we go, man. I don't think we'll be able to say much until we just watch this. Just gotta go
Literally
in,
chill.
experience it, and then
Yeah,
and then we'll explain what we feel, what we thought.
No spoilers. We'll do maybe a spoiler section.
Maybe we'll see. We have spoken, and yeah, this is it, fam.
See you on the others.
This is the way. Okay, cool. Oh man. Wow.
That's crazy.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Food.
If we seem,
Not the movie.
no, I think that whole last movie was such an emotional roller coaster. That's why I'm just kind of spent right now. I'm trying to process everything because that was a package for sure.
For starters, it definitely depends on how you like Star Wars. You have to respect it as it is, not try to make so many predictions. Just give it time, you know. I thought it was a great film. The characters, the action, the jokes, it was just all there, you know. It was a great way to close up this story that we've been seeing for a very long time.
I mean, I loved it. Honestly, like, this is the first movie I actually cried. So that's one note, because I usually
cried too.
get like teary-eyed sometimes, but this I actually cry, which never happens. You have to appreciate all of them because one, you understand the story, and when you watch the last one, then you'll understand and love it even more. I don't know how J.J. Abrams, how do you do this? You get 2 hours and 30-something minutes to bunch it all up together, but it actually makes sense. It's not like, because I'm not saying Last Jedi was a bad movie, but it made it difficult for J.J. Abrams to keep moving on with what he had in the 7th movie. But I liked it because he didn't like retcon everything. He kept some of it, but he made it gradual and it almost didn't seem like it was rushed. It was like perfect. So I loved it. That was me.
So,
Yes, go ahead.
this is my second time watching the movie. I saw it last night.
Yeah. He told me right after the movie. He fell asleep during like the middle of it.
I
No,
think
man, that was.
JJ opened a big can of worms with a lot of questions, but like that doesn't really matter. He fixed a lot of things from episode 8. Personally, I wasn't a big 8 fan. I mean, going and rewatching it, things were going to be like rectified, and I didn't hate it as much. And I think spending 2 years of theorizing things and not having fan service was probably why I didn't like 8. But I think just like watching 8 again, watching 9, it kind of brought it all home. It made it a lot better of a movie.
Yeah.
I think it ended justly. I think.
Yeah, I really don't see how else they could have ended it. I don't know.
I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot of small things you can pick apart, but that's just probably the best we could do with what JJ was given after episode 8.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was unreal, man. It was unbelievable. There was so much. And when I say so much, obviously there was a lot of emotion, but in terms of how much stuff was going on, it was just non-stop, just constant moving, and it was unreal. Tears were shed. I mean, it was just an overwhelming. I think the kid inside me was just so happy and so, in a way, sad. It was a lot of feels. But the callbacks, the homages to the original movies, those poetic, the parallels were just out of this world, and they really truly bring honor to Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia in this last one. And the way they did that was beautiful. I don't understand. I don't know how they did what they did. It was unreal. I've never seen anything been done like that before, ever, in terms of a film, where they use footage from somebody who is already passed and yet feel so real on screen the way she was, you know? Because I think it's been done before where like footage of actors who have passed away has been edited and put out there, but to fit the story so well. That's the thing. What was so astonishing was how her place in this last episode was, man, there's just so many twists and turns. I think the best way to go into this is with open arms, no expectations. There's so many moments that you just need to take in, and yeah, I mean, just buckle up, man. It's, whew. I mean, obviously the cinematically, visually, the production was out of this. I mean, Star Wars always takes it to the next level. But in terms of going to the heart and truly closing this chapter of the Skywalker story and what it means to be a Skywalker, all of that was, I don't know how else I would have done it. Yeah, again, it's a lot to process. I'm rambling. I want to make sure I don't spoil because I know there are people out there who have not seen it. I think it's better to not say spoilers right now. I don't know.
We could basically make a whole video talking about this movie, and it'd prolong. It would probably take up a big chunk of this video, so.
Okay, so I loved it. Obviously, with a movie like this, the Lost One, there's always going to be things that you could have wanted to see, things you may be questioning or asking, which there's a few things. I respect J.J. Abrams' choices. I think this was a beautiful way to tie up everything and close it up and open the doors to new things. But what an incredible movie, not only visually, but story, heartstrings, music even. It takes me a while to process, so.
My immediate response is, and I said at the beginning of this video, I walked in feeling like a little bit like a teenager, trying to remember what it was like seeing these movies for the first time. And watching all of it come together. At the helm is J.J. Abrams, who is an avid fan, obviously, as loyal as he could be. I try to put myself in his shoes as a filmmaker. I try to put myself in the shoes of the actors, and I can only imagine the atmosphere on set. I can only imagine all those moments where they experienced knowing this is it. This is the finale. This is it when it's over. So I watched this film as an actor, as a dad. I had Matthew sitting next to me to my left. Multiple tears were shed. I looked over to him to see his absolute joy and awe in so many different moments. And my daughter to my right, Jemmy, who the first time we watched Force Awakens, before we watched it, she was wearing the Rey outfit. Nobody knew who Rey was, what she would turn out to be. We actually walked through Disney World in this little outfit. She was wearing her outfit. Nobody paid any attention to it. Nobody knew who the costume represented. So to be sitting between my daughter, who we very lovingly call Little Rey, and Matthew, who is a Jedi at heart, this was an absolutely amazing experience. I loved the film. Right now I'm in a place of pure love. I can forgive any and all story gaps and all that stuff that we usually like to criticize. And there's going to be fans out there. There are already fans out there who are doing exactly that. I've read some of the things that, it's too much in 2 hours and this and that. Not for me. I appreciate the spirit of it. I appreciate what it does to the spirit of family, to the spirit of a relationship with a greater being. You know, for us, it's our relationship with God. And when I started this journey, like I said at the beginning of this video, I was starting to get hints at what that meant to me. And after this film, it's family, it's God, and it's love for film and movies and storytelling, and I absolutely loved it. So those are my initial thoughts.
But yeah, those were our initial reactions. I mean, again, I could go on, say things I said again. The music was on key. I mean, it was. It was on par. On par.
On
is that the
par.
word? Like, it was just the accumulation of all these past 8 films all in one movie. If certain scores from previous movies affected you, just imagine all of that in one. And the message, the overall message of this movie, which really is emphasizing the message of Star Wars, what Star Wars is about, which is the battle of good and evil, and what it means to, no matter how dark, how deep you may be in a hole, there's always a way out, you know? This message of like the good and light, and you know, you see characters face darkness, and it's just, I don't know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a universal message theme, I think, and anybody can relate to it. I think it's someone that it's a message that needs to be heard, people need to be reminded of not being afraid of who you are and accepting it, and knowing who you are and being confident in what you bring into this world. There's so much there. There's so much more we could say because there is so much in this movie. So many little callbacks, new things. And it's very curious. It's very curious to see how, you know, what more will be of Star Wars going into the future. I think it's in good hands. Disney is doing a good job. There are fans out there that would disagree. But I think, you know, when we go into these movies and we feel the instinct to opinionate, I think we need to think about the fact that everyone making these movies are fans of Star Wars too, you know? And they're trying their best. They're not out here trying to plot to destroy us as fans.
They've given you something. They made this movie to finish the story of the Skywalker Saga. You know, you've been given a movie of really hard work. The director J.J. Abrams and all the actors and actresses, they're amazing. But you just have to respect it. Your opinions aren't gonna change the movie. You just have to enjoy what you've been given. I did, and I loved the movie, and I loved the way that it ended.
Yeah,
so.
and I think as a generation, this generation has been very blessed to have its own like trilogy, because I think what's so beautiful about this story that we finally concluded is you see the way that Star Wars, what it is, has impacted these past 3-4 generations. And I think that's the most beautiful thing, is seeing it all come together. I don't think anything will be perfect. It was perfect for me as a fan and what it means to me. And I think it'll always, for all of us, hit different, but it'll always stay with us. So anyway, we can continue. We will always still love Star Wars, and we will continue to be immersed in that world. We still got Mandalorian last episode's next Friday, right? And Clone Wars last season in February, and then Kenobi coming up. There's just a lot of good stuff. But anyway, if you guys are watching, some of you guys that are watching have probably already seen the movie. If you have, we'd love to hear your thoughts without any spoilers. And if you haven't, go watch this movie. You probably have your tickets already. If not, get some, go out there, watch this last chapter episode to the Skywalker story. It's truly one you don't want to miss. I don't know, again, there's really trying to find the right words to put all this into, but yeah, just go out there, spread your light, have a MaJeliv day, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you, Star Wars, for everything, and everyone watching. Yeah, may the Force be with you.